So welcome back for today's session. So in this session we are going to learn about the implementation levels of virtualization. So till now we learn about the virtualization architecture and operations, but today where this virtualization can be implemented, by which we can get a more benefit in terms of using resources effectively, and also underutilized resources also can be used in to improve the efficiency of any cloud services or grid services. Okay, so for this what we have to use virtual machines, or we can say VMM also. So virtual machine is going to differ with the VMM. How? The virtual machine is a one by which we can get the different operating system along with the environment. We can upload or we can install any number of virtual machines in our computer, but how all these virtual machines are going to be managed? So this is done by a software or middleware called as a VMM, virtual machine monitor. Okay. Right. So what is the main purpose of this virtual machine, for resource sharing, okay, by which we can improve the performance of a computer. So what are the resources we have going to be shared, we are going to manage by this virtual machine is, or virtualization concepts are these many only. We discussed about this in the previous classes already. The computer, memory, IO devices in terms of hardware, and coming to the software, the operating system, the libraries along with the tools. Okay, so what is the benefit of this means? So this virtualization is going to be give in terms of gives efficiency along with the what is amount can be saved a lot. Okay, so what is the main idea here is, it is going to be separate the hardware from the software. How? You see, the operating system will take care of all the issues in a computer in terms of hardware resources, right? Without the operating system intervention, we can't store our data in the memory, we can't use the input device, and we can't process our data. If that is the case, automatically what we can say, the OS is the one which will take care of all the hardware resources along with the other libraries also. But if we are able to give a software which is going to reduce the work of the operating system, okay, if that is the case, the operating system can perform the other works also in that time. Okay, so why the virtualization is inserted between the hardware and the software means this one, the OS need not to give intervention or no need to interfere in every aspect of this hardware concepts. Okay, ma'am. So computer users gained access to much enlarged memory space when the concept of virtual memory was introduced. We know about this. A lot of computers are going to combine for the virtualization. So if a computer contains 1 GB of data, if 100 computers are connected for virtualization, automatically 100 GB of data can be used. Okay, so that a system which requires a more memory can use that memory in a distributed manner also. So in which we can perform this virtualization here is, I said previously, compute engines, networks and storage. So what are the levels of virtualization? This is the main theme of this today topic, very important topic for today is this one, levels of virtualization implementation. See, for example, where we can impart education at which level means from the childhood only, from the 3 years to till we get the job, the education should be imparted, right, to give better feature to you. If that is the case, where this virtualization can be implemented in what level means, we have 5 methods, ma'am. Okay, we have 5 methods. Before this, we have a picture for you which shows the main difference between the virtualization and normal operation. It is our normal computer, whether it is a laptop or a desktop computer. See, these are all the hardware resources, chip, the memories, all this we have. If you observe here, we have some operating system. okay, which is going to be mediator between our applications to the hardware. That is called as a host operating system. Okay, it is a before virtualization, but after performing the virtualization, if you observe here, we have the same hardware, but above the hardware we have a concept called as a VMM, virtual machine monitor, or we can say hypervisor, which will take care of different applications and different voices also. We have our own voice, but here also we have different voices. So each OS has its own functionality which can able to handle different type of applications of users. So how they are going to share the hardware devices? Does they have own hardware devices with them? Not at all. They are going to share our data only. See, if you observe here, our hardware devices are going to share by this one, right? So by this a different type of application can run on our hardware with the monitoring of VMM, that is virtual machine monitor. Okay ma? So I said the same here. A traditional computer runs with host operating system tailored for its hardware architecture, but after virtualization, different user applications managed by one operating system, guest OS can be called as, can run on the same hardware independent of the host OS. So it will not disturb our OS. Who will take care of? VMM will take care of the other OSs, that is guest OS. We will be very free, our OS will be free, and our computer can able to perform different operations also with this. So this is done by whom? Adding additional software called as virtualization layer of VMM. Okay, so we shown here in the previous diagram. Common virtualization layers include, I said previously that we have 5 methods here to implement our virtualization. So these are 5. First one is the instruction set architecture, ISA, hardware level, operating system level, library level, and application level. Totally 5. I highlighted this operating system level. Why means? So this is the one proving as a better efficiency concept. So by performing the virtualization in operating system, we can improve the not only performance and the efficiency, we can also save a lot of resources and also can reduce the time of getting the output. So that is the main benefit of this operating system level virtualization. Okay, remaining 4 also will do the better only, but compared to other, the operating system level virtualization is a better performance concept. Okay, so totally how many we have? 5 more. I repeat, ISA, instruction set architecture, where the instructions can be virtualized, where the hardware can be virtualized, where the library files, that is OS files, can be virtualized, where the application level can be virtualized. Okay, so these are the 5 more. So these are the some of the tools we can say already used by a lot of companies, given by a lot of companies. These are the tools, a list of tools. For example, instruction set level virtualization examples are Bosch, Crusoe, KEMU, Bird, and Dynamo. These are the softwares will give virtualization at the level of instruction set. What is instructions ma? Operations to perform. So at that time also we can perform virtualization. How? We will see shortly. Hardware level, hardware abstraction layer level means the famous one is a Zen along with the VMware, virtual machine ware. Zen and VMware are the very famous hardware level virtualization concept. Coming to the operating system level, we have a virtual environment along with the jail. These two are very famous. And coming to the library, Wayne, Wabi, vCUDA. We learn about the vCUDA in the previous classes. We learn about the CUDA word. Okay, whenever the CUDA concept, which contains n number of processors, are virtualized, then we have to call it as a vCUDA concept. And coming to the application level, we have a Java virtual machine. Hope you remember what is Java virtual machine. Okay, so this Java virtual machine can be used for our virtualization at the application level. Okay, so these are the some of the tools already given by different companies for the virtualization concept. Next, first one, instruction set architecture level. What is going to do here? What is going to do is we are going to perform some emulation. Emulation, a given instruction set of host machine. What is emulation? Means conversion from one form to another. whatever the instructions, for example, you are going to use a 8086 processor and the instructions are from 80386 processor, how they can be executed. Okay, how they can be executed means the guest OS, that is the other OS using the 80386 instructions, but our OS is using the 8086 instructions. In order to improve the performance of a computer, we are going to use a different type of OSs and applications also. If that is the case, we have to need a conversion. Every level of virtualization need conversion from one form to another. So those 380 instruction 80386 instructions are converted into 8086, which can be compatible to our host OS. Okay, that process called as a emulation. See, for example, MIPS binary code can run on 8086 base. What is a MIPS is millions of instructions per second, but the 8086 processor can able to execute only 16 bit of data. Can't able to cope up with the more amount of processing capability. But with this virtualization, even MIPS also can execute on this 8086. See this, with this approach, it is possible to run a large amount of legacy binary code written for various processors on any given new hardware host machine. We can do this on any hardware, any type of hardware, any type of processor. We can execute instructions of our own by using that emulation. So we have to use a word, our technical word called as a code interpretation. As I said, interpretation we need conversion from one form to another. If that is the case, we have to use a word called as a code interpretation, that is converting from one to another. An interpreter program interprets the source instructions to target instructions one by one. So what is interpreter will do here? Who will do the interpretation from one form to another? It will take the source information that is in one form and convert into another form okay. Yes, so once the source instructions may require tens or hundreds of need to target instruction to perform its function, this process is very slowly. So what is a better performance? This interpretation. Okay, so actively participating interpreters are introduced in this and they are going to convert in any form. Okay, yeah, no need, but this are all theory. So instruction set emulation requires binary translation optimization. So instructions means automatically they have to convert in the binary form only. There is no doubt in that, because the computer can able to understand only binary language. So for this issue, automatically we have to convert into binary form. Thereafter we can start execution. So a virtual instruction set architecture thus requires adding a processor specific software translator layer to the compiler. So automatically this conversion we need, because we have a general compiler based upon the language you are going to use. But whenever different type of languages and tools are going to use by guest OS for their applications, automatically we need that compiler. Okay, a specific compiler will take care of this concept. Okay, just wait. What happened to this? Yeah, next one is a hardware abstraction level virtualization. So what it is going to do? Hardware. So hardware means at the top of any hardware we have a VMM, right? Virtual machine monitor, right? So hardware level virtualization is performed right on top of a bare hardware. Okay, I said, so where the hardware virtualization can be performed is performed on the top of a bare hardware. On the one hand, this approach generates a virtual hardware environment for a VM. On the other hand, process manages underlying hardware through virtualization. Means the whatever hardware we have, automatically it should be used by other guest OS applications also. Further convenient, what are the locations for the available storage along with the availability of the processor will take care of by this VMM, which is the top of hardware. That the idea is to virtualize the compute resources such as a processor, memory and IO devices, okay, to perform virtualization, right? Next, the intention is to upgrade the hardware virtualization rate by multiple users concurrently. The better example given by author, which is discovered in 1960 only, is by IBM. IBM Virtual Machine 360 is a machine in which we perform hardware level implementation virtualization. 1960 only they perform. Another example is a Zen hypervisor, which I discussed previously. We will learn the Zen architecture also in future very shortly. And very important one, our concept is operating system level virtualization, where different type of OSs can able to execute different type of applications. If you see here, so this refers to an abstraction layer between the traditional OS and user applications. Okay, we know the OS is going to intermediate between the our applications along with the hardware, right? So the OS level virtualization creates isolated containers on a single physical server in the OS instances. What is the OS instance? OS instance means, see, we have a configuration for our computer which will be taken care of by our OS. Okay, now, so the configuration which is suitable for our application is going to take care, is going to be stored as an instance. If that is the case, it is called as a OS instance. If OS instance is going to manage in different type of computers, no need to configure the other applications also. Easily we can run any application here. So the containers behave like real servers. Yes. So these containers, what are the containers? Actual servers are? No, these are not the actual servers. These are only the computer which have the structure like servers. That's it. Okay. So OS level virtualization is commonly used in creating virtual hosting environments to allocate hardware resources among a large number of mutually distrusting users. Yes, different type of users based upon different type of applications can use. Who will take care of this again? VMM will take care of, not our host OS. The host OS will be very free. Whenever our original hardware is going to be used by ourselves, our OS, our host OS will take care of that. The remaining part will take care of by VMM also. Okay. Next, library support level. What is the library support level? Means a lot of tools, because any OS contains a large number of files. Those files can be called as the libraries. For example, the best example is a Java virtual machine. What a Java virtual machine will do? The Java language can be executed in any computer. How? Because they are going to convert a byte code. The byte code is the one which is independent of any hardware or any application, that can be usable, that can be used by any software underlying that OS. Okay, so that type of conversions can be called as our library support level. So most applications use API supported by user level libraries rather than using lengthy system calls by the OS. So since most systems provide well documented APIs, such as interface becomes another candidate for virtualization. Yeah, no need to read this. So one of the example which you are going to use for this library support level virtualization is Wine Software. Has implemented this approach to support Windows applications on top of Unix host. So underlying software or underlying OS is Unix, but the top of the Unix we have a software called as Windows OS. So both can be run using the same hardware. The Windows is supporting different type of applications, the Unix is supporting different type of applications, but they can execute. So another example is a vCUDA. What is a CUDA, ma? The CUDA is a one which can able to execute multiple processors or multiple applications by using multiple processors, right? So if it is going to perform the virtualization, then we can call it as a vCUDA concept. And finally, user application level. User application levels means our applications. These are all common interpretations, ma. So any application which is going to be used by a user have to convert or should be compatible with our OS. Okay, so those normally is going to convert. If it is going to performing virtualization means any application of any configuration, no issue at all. We can run on our computer. Yes, virtualization at the application level virtualize an application as a VM. On a traditional OS, an application often runs as a process. Okay, therefore application level virtualization is also known as process level virtualization, because our processing only we can do. One application can be called as a one process. If that is the case, we have to use a word called as a high level language VMs. High level language VMs. Okay. So what we'll do here is the virtualization sits as an application program on top of OS. Okay, on top of OS this virtualization can be performed. Yeah, the same. They can run programs written and compiled to a particular abstract machine definition. Based upon a computer application you're going to use, they're going to convert it in that format only. Here nothing now, just conversion is going to happen. Okay, see the examples what we discussed here, .NET Clear and Java Virtual Machine are the good examples of this class of virtual machine. So what are the other methods also here? Application isolation. Isolation means they are not going to modify by anybody, but they can run any type of application. No need to change the code. Application sandboxing or application streaming. Streaming is a continuous giving services. Okay, the process involves wrapping the application in a layer that is isolated from the host OS and other applications. Okay, yeah, here we have to learn about the Java virtual machine. See, if you observe here, whenever the class program, that is a Java program in terms of class, is going to be executed, it is going to load into the Java virtual machine memory. So in this memory we have different categories of parts. Here is a heap, stacks, registers, again with the stacks along with the main program area. Okay, but whatever we have, we don't bother. What we are going to do, we have some execution engine which is able to execute our programs along with any type of interface can able to handle this Java along with a set of libraries we have. So these three parts will take care of our Java program. Okay, now the actual procedure which is going to be done in this Java virtual machine is this one, the Java source code. Okay, that is .java file, normal Java file after before converting into executable file, that is Java. So after compiling this Java program by using Java C, we have a called bytecode which I discussed previously. It is going to convert into Java bytecode, that is .class file extension. So this Java bytecode can be used by any machine. Java virtual machine, Java virtual machine, Java virtual machine. We have a lot of, if you are going to install the JVM software in any computer which is of any operating system, whether it is OS X or Linux or Windows or Unix, whatever OS, but they will take care of the code of Java without any problem to underlying operating system. So that is the main benefit of Java virtual machine. Okay, yeah, that's it, So for today that's it. Okay, so we learn about the different categories of virtualization concept. One is a instruction set architecture, that is ISA. Next one is a hardware level, operating system level, library level, and finally application level. So these are the 5 methods of virtualization concept. Okay.